Right, let's have a look at morphemes and allomorphs, and really focusing on allomorphs here. There's a separate video on morphemes if you need some more information. But let's start with defining what a morpheme is. It is the smallest meaningful unit. And within the smallest meaningful unit, we can find some kind of variation, which is what we call allomorphy. Now, what are allomorphs? Let's have a look at some examples. A house, an apple. In this case, a and an are both indefinite articles. They both appear with house and apple to mark indefiniteness in a way. Do they have different meanings as such? Not really, right? I mean, a and an are just indefinite articles and that's it. What's different between them is that a appears without an an, and also that they have different distributions. So they look differently because of the place where they appear. And this has to do with the sounds around them. The reasons for why they look different have to do with the phonological environment. Now, when a appears before a consonant, the form is a, whereas when this indefinite article appears before a word that starts in a vowel, the form is an. So a house, an apple. And this really relates to the way in which words are spoken. So when we have a word like honor, the form is an honor and not a honor, because honor is pronounced with an O, okay? It might be written with an H in the beginning, but it is pronounced with an O first. Okay, so the way we relate to this, what we say about this, is that a and an are allomorphs of the same morpheme. There is variation in this morpheme. And the most basic form of the morpheme, the one that appears in most places, the one that we would look up in a dictionary, is the form a. So we could in this way say that a and an are allomorphs of the morpheme a, the general form, the most basic one. Okay, let's have a look at some other allomorphs. Some allomorphs don't appear in writing, they only appear in the spoken language. So if we take the definite article in this case, the house and the apple, now these are pronounced differently, even though they're not written differently. So you can see that in the IPA they would be written the and the, but in writing the form is just there. So in this case, allomorphy exists in the sounds and not really in the way the definite article is written. And there are yet other allomorphs that have nothing to do with the phonological environment, but rather have something to do with language change. Now, language changes over time, sounds develop, but we also borrow words from other languages into English. And we have some allomorphy that is due to this type of change. So children, the plural of child, ends in ren. The plural of house ends in an s. And, well, antenna is antennae. That's yet a totally different form of the plural. Now, in this case, there's nothing phonological that determines whether it's ren, s, or e. Okay, we could say child's. Works perfectly well, but it doesn't. The form is children. Now, what this is language change over time. In children, this ren or n plural form is actually an Old English plural form that has survived, the Old English weak plural. In houses, the s is our regular plural form that appears with most types of plural nouns. And antennae, the e that appears after antenna, is the plural form of a loanword. Now, antenna is one of those very typical Latin Greek loans that we've got in English that have been borrowed both with their singular and their plural forms. And this is actually the plural form of another language, not the plural form of English. So in these cases, the plural forms are not phonologically determined. We don't have allomorphy due to phonological reasons, but rather allomorphy in these cases exists due to historical reasons. Right, a summary. We said morphemes are the smallest meaningful units, and allomorphs is variation within morphemes. Allomorphs are different forms within the same morpheme. And we distinguished between two different types of allomorphs, namely those that appear in specific phonological environments, so due to different sounds, and those that appear due to the history of the language or loanwords. Thank you very much.